You're in a much better posture if you're not trying to stop something where somebody has already invested a whole boatload of money.
Well, what about the boatload of money that's been paid for leases already?
Well, I'm sure that would be relevant to a judge.
But they may choose the path of least resistance and go to an area that doesn't have any ordinance, all things being equal.
The practical effect can be just really nothing.
Which isn't the ultimate answer, but we're looking at our county.
Is it not true that whenever you take part of my property rights, I deserve just compensation?
If there is a taking, yes.
Would the county ordinance, which prohibits drilling, be a taking of part of my property rights if I own it in fee simple?
I don't think it's that way, you know, to be simple, but I went through an analysis earlier, which says that may or may not be a taking. I mean, it's a difficult question to answer. It would not be a situation in which the government came in and actually occupied the property or did the drilling and then kept money from the gas. It would be a situation in which the government is exercising its police power to regulate a particular activity. And whether that constitutes a taking requires a substantial analysis and balancing of several different factors.
There would be a restriction on my property rights, isn't that correct?
It would be a restriction on your property rights in the sense that you would not be
In
able
most court cases, would not be entitled to just compensation.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say you can find support, you can find cases that might support that argument, and you can also find cases which would say that Pocahontas County can prevent you from extracting gas through particular methods.
Did the same thing not happen some time ago in Pocahontas County? We can no longer strip mine coal here in Pocahontas County.
There were people got compensated for that too.
How was the moratorium established to preclude coal mining in Pocahontas County?
I don't know.
I know, I guess that's more of a
It was
history.
so deep and so thin, it was.
There's hardly any years of this.
But you were able to put that into effect, correct?
But the people that had done leased their rights at that point got compensated for that too. At least two, I know of.
By the county or the state?
That I don't know.
Well, what are the rights of a landowner who is not interested in leasing, but he doesn't own the mineral rights? Can they just come in there anyway?
You don't have no option on the mineral if you don't own it.
It depends on the deed that transfers the mineral rights. It's similar to what was raised earlier. It seems to me there's an argument that if the mineral rights were transferred at a time when there was no such thing as Marcellus drilling, and although probably, and there wasn't such thing as strip mining, and there wasn't an anticipation that this kind of technology would evolve such as ruin the surface rights owners. You have a right, I think you'd have an argument to say that deed should be construed in such a way that it does not permit this kind of drilling. It's just an argument. I don't have any cases on that at the moment. If otherwise, though, the surface owner has surrendered his rights and the mineral rights travels, of course.
So there are no such thing as surface rights. Not unless you own everything.
Unless the surface owner has negotiated protections when the mineral rights were sold. It's traditional as the mineral rights trump the surface rights, with some limitations about, when the deed was made and whether there was contemplation of a particular kind of mineral rights extraction. And I think that there are West Virginia cases that make those facts relevant in defining surface rights.
Isn't it valid to have restrictions on property that would, against activities that would be horrible impacts on the neighbors? Seems to me it would be valid for pig farms in North Carolina.
Well, that's the classic nuisance, pigsties, and then of course you have these monster pig farms. Pigs aren't monsters, the farms are monsters. And there has been litigation over that. Of course, they're highly regulated where they have them. Well, most states where they have them are highly regulated. I mean, and you know, the zoning power allows you to say that this property can only be used for certain purposes. It cannot be used for pigsties and whatnot. So there is that power in government.
What's the procedure for enacting the ban on Marcellus drilling? What legal procedure does the county commission have to go through with? Public hearings, et cetera?
Well, the same as any other ordinance.
If we went on the level of the ordinance, it would be 3 public readings for an ordinance.
Okay, 3 public hearings?
It may be 2, but 2 or 3.
Well, I just was wondering if you can't just have a county commission meeting and vote a ban, right?
No.
Correct.
The current severance fee that the state gets for